Hi everyone, Stephen Lee here. In this video, I'll be covering the Illinois Back to Business Grant Program, and I divided this video into the following three parts. The first part is, what is it? The second part is who is eligible, including a list of businesses that will have priority for this grant program, as well as a list of ineligible businesses. And thirdly, all the details on when, where, and how to apply and what to do to prepare. I'll provide some valuable tips towards the end in regards to increasing your chances to receive the limited funds. I'll also leave in the information section below a link to the actual Illinois Business Back to Business portal and instructions on there. So there's a lot more details that is covered in the actual website that you definitely want to take a look at. All right, so let's get right into the first part. What is this program? So this program is a part of Governor JB Pritzker's overall economic recovery strategy, which has set aside $250 million for this Back to Business or B2B grant program, which aims to deploy small businesses recovery grants for those who are hardest hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. This B2B program builds on last year's Business Interruption Grant offered by the state of Illinois, or the BIG, the big grant, and it was able to direct $290 million worth of funds to 9,000 businesses in 98 communities across the state of Illinois. So the BIG grant was definitely vital for a lot of our customers and our clients' businesses. And once again, the funds, there was only $290 million made available last year, and those funds ran out real quick. So you definitely want to stick around to the very end to make sure that not only are you ready, but also to make sure that you're eligible, as well as to make sure you apply early and follow my tips. Remember, the B2B is a key component of Governor Pritzker's $1.5 billion economic recovery plan. So let's get right into the funding available. Once again, $250 million have been set aside for businesses, small businesses across the state of Illinois who experienced losses due to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. There's a list of how much this $250 is budgeted across different industries. So $100 million, I'm going to go over that list right now. So the first $100 million of this is going to be for businesses located in something called disproportionately impacted areas, or DIAs. There's going to be a map in the link in the information section below. You definitely want to check out that map to see if you qualify as a business located in a DIA. $30 million will be set aside for arts and entertainment businesses that didn't receive the SBA's Shuttered Venue Operator Grants. So $30 million is set aside for arts and entertainment businesses that didn't receive the SBA's SVOG grant, Shuttered Venue Operator Grant. $25 million will be set aside for restaurants and bars that didn't receive the SBA's Restaurant Revitalization Fund, or the RRF grant. $25 million is set aside for hotels. And then lastly, the $25 million will be set aside for businesses that didn't receive a BIG, or Illinois Business Interruption Grant, due to the funds being run out. Okay, so the $25 million set aside for those eligible businesses who were qualified for the BIG grant but did not receive any because there were no more funds. The grant range, how much will be given out to businesses that are eligible? It's going to range from $5,000 to $150,000 per business, and can be used to cover a wide range of operations, staffing or salaries, and overhead costs. So basically working capital. Remember, if this is the kind of content that you're looking for, don't forget to subscribe and leave any comments or questions that you have in the information section below, and turn on that bell notification. So click on that bell notification so that you don't miss out on any future updates. So let's get right into part two. Who is eligible and who is not? Let's go first off, what are the 6 main qualifiers for eligibility? The first qualifier is you must be an independently owned and operated for-profit corporation, LLC, partnership, sole proprietorship, and authorized to conduct business in the state of Illinois. Also, non-for-profits do qualify here. Number 2 is must have been operating during or before December 2019. So you must have had an eligible business or non-for-profit that's been operating during 2019 or before or since December 2019, okay? So if you've been operating before December 2019, you're fine, but since December 2019. Must have had less than 20 million in gross operating revenue in calendar year 2019, or a prorated amount if in operation for less than a year prior to December 2019. Okay, so if you started your business in December 2019, there's a prorated amount, right? And that prorated amount is basically a 20 million divided by 12 months. That equals about 1.67 million of gross receipts per month. So if you started in December, prorate that amount over the 31-day calendar year or calendar month, and then see where you fall out to see if you're eligible. The fourth is you must have experienced a loss in revenue of at least $5,000 in 2020 due to COVID-19. I think most businesses will qualify for that, at least 5,000. Number 5 is must have had a reduced operations due to government orders, public health guidelines, or depressed consumer demand during the COVID-19 pandemic. Most businesses will qualify for this. And number 6 is must have complied with all relevant laws, regulations, executive orders from the state or federal government, including social distancing guidelines. Okay, so as long as you followed all the federal, state, and local guidelines due to the COVID-19 pandemic, you qualify. So there's a list actually of which businesses are not eligible. And I'm going to go over this list. This list is actually really long, and there's more details in there. So definitely take a look at the link if you fall under one of these industries. First is childcare providers that have received or are registered for childcare restoration grants. Number 2 is private clubs or businesses that limit membership for reasons other than capacity. A third business that is ineligible is businesses that earn more than a quarter of their annual revenue from lending activities. Fourthly, businesses that earn at least 33% of its gross annual revenue from legal gambling activities. So a third of the gross annual revenue cannot come from legal gambling activities. Another business that is ineligible is engaged in any activity prohibited by law, federal, state, or local. Another one is businesses that service a majority of its income as an owner of real property that leases that property to tenant or tenants under a lease agreement. So this is actually for property owners. Okay, so if you are a business and you are in the rental business, you are ineligible, unfortunately. A business that manufactures or sells at wholesale tobacco or liquor products or firearms. Okay, so this is for wholesalers. A business that manufactures or sells at wholesale. Okay. Nightclubs and strip clubs are prohibited. Employment agencies are also prohibited. Pawn shops and liquor stores are also prohibited, okay, or ineligible for this program, unfortunately. There are also priority industries, okay? Priority industries means that if you apply and you fall under this industry, your application will probably take priority in the line in terms of receiving some of this funding. And so some of the priority industries here, and remember this list is also really long and exhaustive. And so this list that I'm going to go over is not exhaustive. So definitely check the link to make sure that your business is a priority, or if I didn't mention it, to see if your business does qualify as a priority business. Some businesses there are hospitality, hotels, motels, and inns. Restaurants and bars that did not receive the SBA's Restaurant Revitalization Fund Grant, or RRF. So if you're a restaurant or a bar and you didn't receive the SBA RRF, you fall as a qualified or priority business. Arts and entertainment operators, there's a lot of specifics here, so check out that one. And remember, if you are an arts and entertainment operator or venue operator, you receive priority only if you did not receive the SBA's Shuttered Venue Operator Grant, okay, the SVOG. If you receive that, you are not considered a priority business. Okay. Another priority business here is retail, clothing, or electronics store. Okay, that you are a priority business. Dry cleaning and laundry businesses are also a priority. This excludes coin-operated businesses, coin laundry businesses. So only dry cleaning and laundry, excluding coin-operated businesses. Home healthcare services is also a priority. Child care providers that did not receive or are registered for the Child Care Restoration Grant. Okay, so if you're a child care provider, you did not receive or are not registered for that Child Care Restoration Grant, then you are priority. Barbershops and salons, this is hair, nail, face. Barbershops and salons also are priority business. Gyms and fitness centers are also a priority business. And then tourism and group transportation services and businesses are also priority. This does not include taxis, limos, or rideshare like Uber and Lyft, unfortunately. There are also a few other priority qualifiers here. Another one is hard-hit areas. Okay, remember disproportionately impacted areas, DIA? It comprises of 176 zip codes within the state of Illinois. So definitely check the map to see if you fall under here. Businesses who have yet to qualify for state funding or federal assistance, including PPP, RRF, Restaurant Revitalization Fund, Business Interruption Grant, that was done last year, the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant, SVOG, and more. So if you did not receive any of the federal or state and local grant or system programs, you are also potentially a priority business here. So let's move on to the details related to when and how to apply. Remember, I'll also provide some valuable tips towards the end in regards to increasing your chances to receive the limited funds. All right, so number one is the application portal is scheduled to open this Wednesday, August 18th. What you'll need to provide and have ready when that portal opens is going to be the following business information. So you're going to need your business owner information, including social security number or ITIN, business information, including EIN, legal name, address, things like that. The legal entity type, you need to know if you're an LLC, sole proprietor, corporation. You also need to know if you received any SBA grants or funding or programs and the amounts that you received for each. Okay. Also know if you received any city or state grants, including the Illinois Business Interruption Grant or any other local grants you might have received and the amounts that you received. Also, you're going to need to know and have ready the total gross receipts reported on your 2019 and 2020 tax returns for the business. Okay. Also, they're going to require you to upload and supply the following documentation. So have this ready. First is a business owner or representative valid identification or driver's license, state ID or passport. A second thing is one business bank statement from between April and December 2020, inclusive that reflects business expenses. This is the qualifier to show that you were in business between April and December 2020. Most recent bank statement, if you are a sole proprietor without a business bank statement, please submit statement for whichever account you conduct business transactions. So you're going to need that two bank statements here, right? One between April and December 2020. And then a recent bank statement. Okay, so you're gonna need two bank statements. And then you're gonna need both of these two tax returns, 2019 federal tax return and 2020 federal tax return. If you're a sole proprietor, which means that you file under Schedule C for your business, you're gonna need to submit your individual Form 1040, okay, just the federal one, okay, which includes the Schedule C, so make sure you include that. So basically here, you're gonna need your identification card, two bank statements, and your 2019 and 2020 business or business tax return. Okay. Once again, the application portal is set to open this Wednesday, August 18th. So please check first to make sure you're eligible and prepare the necessary information to apply. Big tip here, it's vital to have all your documents ready to go and uploaded before August 18th. What I mean by uploaded, make sure you scan them, have the PDFs ready, so that once the portal opens, once you answer all the questions, you can upload them right away. Because once again, if you go back to the earlier part of this video, there's only $250 million worth of funds here, right? And that's not very much, knowing how many businesses in Illinois actually need the funding. So you definitely wanna apply early, and right away, once that portal opens up. So if it says that it's scheduled to open up Wednesday, August 18th, I would actually wait up till a little bit past midnight on August 18th so you can apply right away to the portal. Okay, so you get your application in right away, especially if you're a priority business. Okay, so make sure you look at all the qualifiers, Get all your information ready, get all your PDFs ready to be uploaded to the portal. That includes your business site or your identification card, your 2 bank statements that I talked about, as well as your 2 tax returns that I talked about. Okay. Remember, lastly, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to turn on your notifications so I'll continue to provide you updates in regard to this grant program and others as well. Until next time, I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye.